Hello there out in YouTube land and welcome to the channel. I am doing something different, which is a cottage pie. I had a craving today when I was out driving the van about doing my job. All of a sudden I was in a building and I could waft this smell of onions and mince being mixed together, and it suddenly got, oh, do you know what? I do fancy a cottage pie, which I haven't broadcast before, ladies and gentlemen. So stay with me. What I've done a bit of prepping behind the scenes so you don't get bored, because I don't want that. So here we go, cottage pie, my way. I know there's lots of different ways out there, and you have your ways and I have mine. I know there's going to be comments saying, you don't do it like that. I know, and there is a few shortcuts, so, you know, just bear with me. Here we go. So pan on. Obviously, a little bit of gas going on here, ladies and gents. Love a bit of gas. Now, I know there's all different types of oils. There's olive oil, there's vegetable oil, there's this. My personal favourite is a little bit of rapeseed oil. But you can use whichever is in your kitchen to hand. So I'm going to put a smattering of that in a pan and heat that up a little bit. And I've got all my herbs ready to go. A little bit different and a bit of shortcut as well. So I've got some easy garlic to make things a little bit easier for me, obviously. Okay, I've got some thyme. I've got a bit of oregano. I've got some spicy Italian. Now this baby's a little bit difficult to get hold of. You can sometimes find it in Morrison's or Asda, but it's not in like your normal shops. You won't get it. So that's Italian, spicy Italian. That's nice. That's going to make my cottage pie a little bit more spicy than normal, because I like things spicy. And I got some mixed herbs and a little bit of salt and pepper and a touch of aromat. Now, just here, just simmering away, is my beef stock. Now, I made that up just a bit ago. It's quite simple. That's nice and warm now. I can turn that down. All I did was put some water in a pan, had a beef stock pot, a bit of gravy granules and an OXO cube, and just mixed it together and let it heat up for a bit. That's actually a little bit thick, but I had to add a little bit of water to that just to thin it out a little bit. And in the back here, which you can't really see, maybe a little bit, is some potatoes, which I've got as many potatoes as I possibly can in my, I haven't got the best kitchen in the world, so I fit as many potatoes as I could. Hopefully I got enough for the I'm going to make a cheesy potato topping, but that comes later. So that's on the go now. So this pan is getting nice and hot now. So what I'm going to do is just going to turn the heat down a little bit so I don't burn the ingredients when I go in. I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic. Here it hit the pan. There, nice. There we go. And I've got my trusty little spatula, nice and clean. I have cleaned my hand, washed my hands, by the way. Very important when you're cooking. And I've actually got my mince here now. I know there's probably a pet bone of contention, but for me, so in here, by the way, I'll go back to that. I've got carrots, celery, and onion. So they're all going to go in one go. There we go. And we're going to cook that down a bit. So I've done my mince, but what I've done is all the herbs and spices that I've got here, I've kneaded into the mince. Now, I'm not sure if that's a thing, and I don't know if it does anything, but for me, whenever I cook this dish or any sort of mince, it always comes out tasting really nice if I've done that. And I've also added a little bit of black pepper in there as well, and I always find that it comes out really nice when I do that. So I put the heat back up now, because the last thing you want to do when you put garlic in or any sort of like thing like that, you don't want to burn the garlic, because then your dish becomes have a bitter taste to it. Which is what I find. I mean, I'm no expert, by the way. All right, I'm a heating engineer by trade, but I do like a little cheeky bit of cooking on the side. And what I'll do is, because I live on my own, oh no, never mind. I had a choice more than anything. I'll put this in the freezer, or I'll put some of it in the fridge, and I'll have it not tonight. Well, I'll have some tonight, obviously, but I'll then have another little bit tomorrow, and then I'll have some for a few more days. And I might even ring my mum up and say, fancy a bit of cottage pie, mum? Courtesy of Kev's Kitchen. Right, I'm just looking at this here, and this is you really what you want to do when you put in your beef stocking. Should be not that thick, and this is a little bit thick, so I'm going to add a little bit of water. So I'm going to go to the seam, sorry, working on my own. A little bit of water, extra water, just to thin that out a little bit. That should be lovely. Just check on my potatoes. So when that's done, when the potatoes are done, what I'm going to do is salt and pepper, bit of butter, and quite a bit of cheese mashed in, and then that'll go on top of my mixture here. Should come out lovely, shouldn't it? Yeah, nice. So I'm just frying this down a little bit, get some heat into the celery and the onions and the carrot. Now what I try to do is dice the carrot rather than slice it. So what I did is chopped it, turned it on its side, and then chopped it that way, make it more of a square sort of shape rather than a slice. You know what I mean? Oh, it smells nice. You don't have that though, do you? You can't do that. So what I'm going to do is just going to add a tiny bit of bushes of it. This is the oregano, lovely oregano. I think oregano is a lovely herb. Bit of thyme. Some mixed herbs. And a tiny bit of the Italian spice. What I'm trying to attempt here is layers, getting layers of taste. So if I start cooking that now and into the vegetables now, that's going to be a layer of taste, because they'll be cooked at different times, so there's a little bit different depth to it. That's the idea anyway. Whether it makes sense to any chefs out there, I'm not a trained chef, so I don't know. It's just the way I cook. I always find that when I do this, there seems to be more depth and flavour. Maybe I'm doing something by accident, I don't know. You see, I'm not a trained chef. I'm just a gas engineer who likes a bit of cooking. And for those of you who don't know what a gas engineer is, you're from, basically in the UK, we do get hot and we get cold and we get snow and we get all sorts of things. And we have these things on the wall, call them boilers or gas boilers or central heating boilers, whatever. And what they can do is they can give you heat, and some of them can give you hot water. And I go out and I fix those and make sure they're okay. To do that, you need to be gas safe qualified. So a lot of people think I'm very popular during the winter, put it this way, especially when it breaks down. Not so much in the summer, don't need you in the summer, but in the winter, when they're freezing cold, they are very happy to see you when you knock on the door, and they're not very happy. So you try your best to make sure that they're going to be happy people by fixing their boilers. There you go, that's what I do for a living. Wasn't always like that. I was actually in the military for 22 years. I was in the Royal Air Force. That was 20 years ago. I've been out of the Air Force for 20 years. That's how long I've been doing gas engineering. So yeah, it's changed a lot since I was in the forces. Oof. So I just added the mince. You can probably see that. And I'm basically just folding it in, letting it cook as it gets folded in. I'm trying to get the mince to mix in with the vegetables that are there. basically what I do is I cook the mix separate, and it makes life a lot easier because you don't have to do this and vegetables are in the way. But it's a slow process of folding it in, making sure it's all broken up and entangled within the vegetables. And in a minute I'll be adding the stock, but first of all we've got to make sure that this mince is nicely folded in. Just takes a bit of time. Talk within yourself for a second. Come on. Yeah, next time I'm going to definitely cook the big separate. I think it'll make life easier. It's going in, but it's just taking me time to get it folded into the celery, the carrot and the onion. I was thinking about using red onion, but I don't know if that makes it a little bit too, you know, because red onion is a lot sweeter than white onion. It's whether or not that's a thing you can do. So I decided not to and go traditional. So this is looking a lot better now. Yeah, the mince is really getting in and it's going into more of a browner. That's much better, yeah. So that's really mixed in now. Looking quite nice. So remember we said layers of taste. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little sprinkling of oregano, a sprinkling of thyme, a sprinkling of mixed herbs. Proper accent error. Where do I come from then? And finally, some that and a little thing of aromat, and not forgetting, find a little bit black pepper. Now the aromat is replacing the salt. I know I will get hammered by chefs for that, but this is not a, you know, one of these recipes where it's going to be restaurant level. This is for at home enjoying, and the aromat is a taste enhancer, and we all know we know how much research has been done into aromat. Well, I do anyway, and I know that some people go, you can't use that. Well, I'm using it. Okay, so that's all mixed in, and now I'm going to put my beef stock in. All goes in. That's looking good. Oh yeah, that's looking nice, actually. I'll bring you over and have a quick look, nice and close now. Right. And we want that to simmer for a bit. And then what I'm also going to add into that, now you should have some tomato puree really, but unfortunately when I went to the shops they didn't have any. So I've got this passata with basil. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that. Fold that in. Now you could add red wine to it now if you wanted, if that's the way you roll. I particularly don't work with red wine. I'm mean, I like drinking it, but when it comes to cooking with it, I'm not overconfident how much and stuff. So when I'm not overconfident with something, I tend to steer away from it. Okay. So the nice thing is, whilst it's been cooking around, the potatoes have been going. And they are near enough soft enough for mashing. So I'm going to turn the heat down on those, and then I'll grate some cheese. And we'll do with a bit of mashed potato. Now I don't know there's going to be enough there. Potatoes, by the way. I don't think there is. Oh dear. I'll put as many as I could in because I haven't got a really big pan, so I think I might have to do some more. What I might do is put these to the side because these are ready. Heat up some more and then mash it all together. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I'm looking at that thinking, is there enough there? And I don't think there is. Not for that, because this is the size of the thing I've got. I'll tell you what I might do. No, it's not going to work. That's not going to work, is it? I'm just thinking if there's another way. No, I don't think there is. All my mince was on there. It's just I don't think there's going to be. There'd be enough potato, but it'd be such a thin layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that to the side. I'm just going to drain it, put it to the side, and then I'll mash it up with another batch of potatoes, and then I'll have plenty to put on top of this, right? But this is looking lovely. This is really looking nice. This has got to cook for a while. Just let all the carrots and the celery to cook a bit. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a bit of a taste test of the sauce, just to see what the sauce is like. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's lovely. I like that. So it's a bit watery, so I'm going to let it simmer for quite a bit, just to, get that a little bit down a bit, reduced a bit, because if you put potato on, that potato will just sink into it. So I'm going to turn the temperature down and let that simmer away, which is a good thing because it gives me time to do the potatoes. So I will be back with you once I've done the potatoes again, and then we'll put it all together and we'll whack it in the oven, and then we'll see how we get on. Okay? Okay, see you soon.